And I would also like to thank the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the mother of the nation, in person of Her Excellency Aisha Buhari, for for finding me worthy in her heart to forgive for my recent actions.
That was murdered. On the other news today, if you have not heard that news, then that means you are living under a rock. That our first lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, arrested a university student, Adamu Aminu Mohammed, for posting a picture on Twitter saying that she has become fat with Nigeria's money. And she got him arrested on the 3rd of November, no, or the 8th of November, if I'm correct, and he got released around the 3rd of December. So he spent almost a month in prison by the SSS, the DSS, Department of Secret Service in Nigeria. And guess what? Even to take things much higher, comical, it was even said that when Aisha Buhari was joining the security operatives in beating the boy, she actually tried to kick him and she slipped and she broke her leg. It was on Sahara Reporters News that this one are from frying pan to fire. Nothing that, like, say, Wahala actually be like bicycle. And she had to be rushed to the hospital. So it was just a bunch of comedy. But guess what? Who is calling her out now? A bold activist, Seun Kuti, is now also calling her out and saying that, you know what? Come and arrest me. You are actually one of those who stole Nigeria's money. And Nigeria's money has actually made you fat. And you actually dared to come and arrest me too and said it to her face.
You are fat and it's our money that you used to get fat. Send your DSS, come this side. Send them. You know, send that your DSS, come this side. You know, get say you be good. Aisha Buhari, you are fat. Capish? Capish? They don't invite the boy now. Me come the follow them, the negotiate. That woman should be in jail. If Aisha Buhari is not in jail, then there's nothing like law in Nigeria. If Aisha Buhari is not thrown in jail for abuse of office, she doesn't even have an office. Constitutionally, there's nothing such thing as office of the first lady. This is a made-up office where they use all our money, they waste on top of their wife, so that their wife don't go feed, they monitor them and their girlfriend. You know, their wife don't feed, they monitor them and their girlfriend. For all the girlfriends they fuck everywhere for the world, from London to Ethiopia, to they carry women up and down, guess who they be born, their grandchildren, just mounting everything with whole. Male and female. Male and female. These girlfriends are not only female, they are male and then they are female. They can't create office or distract the wife from monitoring what's going on.
Is this so? There are two sides of this coin. People are saying that, first of all, Aisha Buhari misused that power. Even the police too said it, that you don't speak up, you don't misuse your power like that. Get the guy picked up from his university on campus in Jigawa State and get him beaten. But people have also said that this is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying needs to stop. A lot of people are cyberbullying people and the rest of them, and they were cyberbullying the first lady. Do you feel like this is a case of cyberbullying, or this is just Aisha Buhari taking things too far?
This is a case of freedom of speech being controlled, censored. We are so used to, if we don't like what you're saying about me, I need to cancel you, I need to censor you. And because she could not censor him just like that, she wanted to show how powerful she is. So yes, it is an abuse of power, it is an abuse of our human right, and it is an abuse of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. No matter how we see it, it first started with, censoring the IPOB, censoring the Igbo. We think that when it's just a particular people, it is not going to reach us. It's going to get there. The more you begin to control people, the more you get. Its power is so, what's the word? toxicated. Power is so toxicated that when you use it, you begin to feel that adrenaline flow from your head. And I feel the first lady felt it, and she said, let me use you as a scapegoat. So she decided to use Adamu Amadu as an scapegoat. That is it for me. I feel the first lady abused that power. The only reason the first lady even allowed this student to be freed is because Amnesty International and different groups began to speak about the abuse of power. This child or this student did not say a lie. I think the news that BBC granted, the interview with the first lady, when the first lady was asked, have you done something for Nigeria? What can Nigeria remember your government for? She said, and the government or the office of the first lady is being run as a charity. She gives food, she gives clothes.
What do you want them to remember you the most for? Service to humanity. We give some stationaries, school materials.
Is this the same first lady that was on BBC saying she is doing a charity cause? Is the same one picking up people and becoming I don't want to use a word before they come pick me up or kidnap me like Nnamdi Kanu. But is this the same first lady that is saying she's doing a charity cause? I think we should start being honest. Her government and her husband's government have failed Nigeria. Nigeria is in the worst set of recession ever. The people are angry with the first lady and the president. I feel this is time this should have been the time for her as a mother to show a motherly love and say, see, you know what you said? I know I feel your anger, but you know what? I'm not going to react like this. I think the most important thing to say is how we control or how we react to every situation is very important. And I feel the first lady reacted poorly. She reacted badly.
I feel for me, I might probably have a different opinion, probably close to yours, but just a slight of difference in it. For me, I feel like to me, I'm disappointed in the first lady because I've seen her preach, and to me, I don't feel like she practiced what she preached. This is a lady who has been outspoken, spoken about the government, spoken about the ills of this government. She has stood and said, what's the word, controversial things, and she has never been picked up, never been arrested. We stood by her and also said freedom of speech. But it seems like when the ball is now in our court.
We even, sorry to cut you short, we stood by her when her husband said women should be only in the other room. We stood by the first lady.
Yeah, when they said that she should be in the kitchen, and it was quite shameful that even our president had to go to a country where the top person, the German chancellor, was a woman, and the minister of defense, the two biggest positions in that country, was being occupied by women. But yet he went here and told them that women belonged in the bedroom and in the kitchen. That was a very, very shameful thing for the Nigerian president to see. But we've stood by her many times when she has been outspoken. But it seems like when she's the one being criticized, all of a sudden she forgets that people can be outspoken, people can have entitlement to opinions, and then she's trying to gag people and beat people off. And I just find that very, very shameful and very, very disgusting. I expect better from her. I expect her to present herself in an orderly manner, in a cordial manner. And I've seen her say that, oh, she's a person of the people, she's a person that wants democracy and wants true freedom. And this does not represent true freedom. This represents tyranny. But on the other part, also rounding up, I feel like a lot of times people are taking social media too much, where people come, type rubbish, say absolute bunkum.
But let's talk about the tweet. Let's talk about that particular tweet. He only said, Mama, the first lady, Mama Buhari has eaten the poor people's money and it has made her fat.
Can he prove that? I expected Aisha Buhari to take him to court. If he takes him to court, he will not be able to prove that. I dare him to. He would not be able to. So when they go to court and court say, okay, fine and good, show us the way she ate poor people's money, then I would be waiting for his documents on how he ate poor people's money. I feel like people just make reckless statements these days. And it's just, what's the word? Absolute bunkum for me. But like I always say these days, for me, there's freedom, like what people will say, freedom of speech is, guaranteed, but freedom after speech sometimes is not guaranteed. I am a person that lives for freedom of speech. I stand by the fact that people should
Don't
have
you think?
speech, free speech.
Don't you think the first lady of Nigeria is too emotional to even occupy the position of the
And
first lady? Don't you think, as a leader, the first thing you should
she
have,
was
the first thing you should
she was
have?
not
I'm
elected.
coming, Mr. Chefu. Before I continue, the first thing you should have is self-control. Don't you think that is what the same thing we're accusing Mr. Peter Obi? We see when Peter Obi was in the town hall meeting, and what's his name? What's this guy's name? Dino Numaya, or sorry, I forgot his name, was saying something, and Peter Obi jailed off.
Okay, Dino
As
Milaye.
Demon Nilaye, and Peter Obi jailed
Dino
off,
Milaye.
and people say this should not be the character of who wants to lead us. Is this not the same thing Mama Buhari is also portraying? Oh, sorry,
Mama
Mrs.
Buhari was not
Buhari.
elected. Yeah, Mama Buhari was not elected. Mrs. Aisha Buhari, Mrs. Aisha, she was not elected. She is just the wife of the president, and her position is just almost like an appointee. In fact, the husband said that there is no post of the office of the first lady. I wonder how she automatically decided to have that post, because if you go back, check the recent when Buhari was first running to office, he said he doesn't believe in the office of the first lady, that the first lady has no office as far as he's
Well,
concerned. But
if this
they
was
always find
during
ways.
Jonathan's tenure, where Patience Jonathan
She
did the
would
same
also
thing,
be
do you think
she would also be
Nigerians,
criticized.
don't you think Nigerians would have
The same
gone
way,
further and even
yeah,
castigated Patience
no,
Good Luck
they
Jonathan?
castigated. If it was about castigation, Aisha Buhari was heavily mocked. She was dragged all over Twitter and Instagram. She was heavily mocked. People started mocking her. It was only Adamu Aminu Mohammed that was trolling her before. But when she arrested him, it became millions of people all over the world. Nigerians in Spain, Nigerians in Croatia, Nigerians in Netherlands, Nigerians in Canada. It became massive trolling. Burners were trolling her. It became a sea of trolling. That she was even trending. She even got to as far as number 2. But I don't know if she even became number 1 in the most trending on Twitter then.
The
And
most
when you click
hated
on it,
person in the world.
it was just trolling messages, heavy trolling messages, and people were surprised at what's happening. The algorithm on Twitter was heavily reading towards the hatred towards her. So I feel like she got her own share, and I'm sure the message was passed across that if you try to, gag Nigerians will gag you back. But for me, I feel like social media is taking it too far. This is where people just come and make absolute bunkum statements that cannot be backed up. Just say things like, oh, you know what, Peter Obi he has 21 wives, he's sleeping with prostitutes. Oshomole, the same way Dimila went to channels and saying Oshomole is known for patronizing Syria prostitutes in Benin. And I'm sure if they asked him, he can't provide all evidence, but he said Oshomole is known on the beds of prostitutes in Benin, that they know him. His name is a household name in prostitutes in Benin. Absolute bunkum, saying that just things that I don't want to mention on this show. Just saying. So I feel that social media has become like where people just wake up and just start to troll people, and I don't agree with that. But in trying to watch the world, talk about things that really happen, giving your opinions on what is trending as news, I will back you 100%. I support freedom of speech, but you should put a line before it becomes trending. And I'm done. I think that's our offering.
Yes, that's our offering for Rich Q Talk. Offering for breakfast, the breakfast shows on Q Talk.
Breakfast show.
And Mama Buhari, if you're watching us, please, we are not insulting you. Please don't come and arrest us. So we are living our small life where we are. And peace out.